Welcome to the 46th session on operating system and Linux. I'm Manibhushan D'Souza, and in today's class we are going to look at shell programming. This will be the part first of the shell programming. And in today's session we are going to look at a few fundamental things about shell programming. First of all, we will look at how to activate the shell itself, and then we are going to look at some shell variable and how to input output and how to set the variables. So let's go ahead with the shell programming. Now, as you are familiar, we can interact with the operating system using user interface. One of the user interface that the Linux provides to us is the shell. So using shell we can communicate. So shell act as a communication, as a mechanism for communicating with the Linux system. We can supply commands via shell, and the shell interprets that command. If the commands are not proper, it will give us the error message saying that the command that you typed is not proper. Suppose if the command is proper, then it will give that command to the kernel for execution. Linux comes out with different types of shells, and the shell that we are going to use is the bash shell. So bash stands for born again shell. Now this is an superset of existing popular Bourne shell. Okay, all the commands, whatever you type in the bash shell, are directly compatible with the Bourne shell, and whenever you start the command prompt in Linux, most of the time it is the bash shell that is given to you, unless and otherwise the administrator has the other option for you. How do I notice that this is a bash shell? One of the way is by looking at this symbol. In general, remember it's not always true. In general, it shows in the form of a dollar. So when you get the command prompt in dollar, it you can take to a very great extent that this is a bash shell. Now, sometime we would like to run more than one command repeatedly. For example, at the end of the day, we may want to save all the content, take a backup, and then save the content. Or maybe in the morning when we start working, we may want to do some housekeeping work on the system by typing some commands and then start to carry out our work. Now, instead of typing those commands again and again and again every day, you can store all those commands in a file. So you can write one command after the other command after the other command and store it in a file, and then ask the system to execute all the commands which are typed inside a file. So you can create a file, for example, just to tell you, you can create a file and you can just say what is my present working directory, or who am I, something like that. Okay, I'm just giving you things. So you can write all the commands and ask the system to execute this command, so by giving the file name. So if you just give the file name, all the commands that you have typed inside that file will be executed, and this is what is called as a shell script. So we write the script which is interpreted by the shell, and whatever commands you write, the order in which you have written the commands will be executed. So it's like a programming, but in programming the program is compiled. Here there is no compilation, it's just an interpretation. Whatever you type and save it in a file, that will be taken up, and one command after the other command will be executed, and the instruction whatever you have written will be carried out. There are two ways in which you can execute a shell script inside Linux. One is using sh command. So when you type sh, actually a child shell is created, and then you can use that. Another way is to give an execute permission for your file. So I told you that you can write all the commands inside a file, and you can write all your commands inside the file and then give it a execute permission, that is X permission. Then you can directly run it on the shell. Okay, so how do I create a file? It is an ordinary way of creating file. Generally we associate the extension for a file as sh. This is not really required by the Linux, because Unix system don't treat anything as the extension as something different, but to be to be very familiar, like for our convenience, you can just use .sh as the extension for a given file. Okay, now how do I set the execute permission for my file? To run the execute permission, you know very well, it is a user, current user plus ex. To the file that you want to give the permission, use the sum out file for that. And if you want to execute the file, use the dot refers to the current directory, and slash saying that this file exists in the current directory, followed by the file name. So if you do that, you can execute the command. Now you can run more than one command in a single line by putting a semicolon. So if you write one command and put a semicolon and write the other command, one command will be executed and next command will be executed. So you can keep on doing like this. So you can separate one command from the other command using the semicolon. Now we are talking about scripting, and we know the first thing in any programming language that we study is the variables. So how do I create variables and in shell script? Now when we look at the shells, there are two types of variables which are available. One is the variables which are already built into the shell, and the other is the user defined variables. Now the built-in variables, most of them are constant. You can't use change their values. If you want to change their values, you have to do it before logging in. After that, some variables can be changed, and some values for these variables are set by the operating system. However, these variables will be available to you inside your shell. Okay. These variables decide how your environment will look like, and that is why we usually call them as environment variables. So they define the environment in which you can work on the shell. If at all you want to know how many variables are there, you can use the set command. So I will go to the command prompt here, and I'm going to type set as my command and press enter. You notice that lot of things has come, some script have also come, don't worry about it. I'll try to scroll up, and you will notice instead of doing like this, I can scroll up and just show you. So first it's going to say where is bash, and some interesting thing like what will be the width, what will be the color of the terminal on which it is being displayed, and something. These are all about GNOME, so don't worry about this GNOME options. The one that you can see, the host name, which is the name of my machine, and the other one is my home directory, it's going to show me. And it is the next one is how the variables are separated, or how the commands are separated, either by a space, either by a tab character, or by a new line. So these are separated. Then the language that I am using, Indian English, is the language. Then the number of lines which are shown in the terminal, who has logged in, that information. These are all set by the machine. So then you have some other things like whenever I issue a command, so it's going to search in this location. If whenever I type a command, first it will go to user local ESP to see whether that related file is there in this folder. If it is not, it's going to go to user local bin and so on. So these are all the location where it's going to search for the file. Also, it's going to show me which is the prompt that I am supposed to show. So if you notice over here, the prompt that you are going to see here is, if you look at here, I will quickly go up to show you so that it is easier. You see that money at money virtual box and tilde and then dollar. Now this is got using that script. So you notice that PS1 was there. So this is the first prompt that I am getting. Somewhere it just shows you, see, at, so you can notice that at somewhere it is showing. So it is all possibilities, and then finally it tried to show the dollar. Okay, somewhere that, don't worry about those things. These are all some of the colors that it is trying to set. Don't worry about it. That script is slightly too hi-fi. So you see the PS1, that's the first prompt. This will be the second prompt. So if you exceed the one line, when you go to the next line, this prompt will come. Now you are seeing only the dollar prompt. After that you will see this prompt. Okay, and also it's going to show you what is your present working directory and so on and so forth. So these are all the commands that you can see. So let's go back to here. So when you look at the built-in variables, you have home, which shows you your home directory, log name, who has log name, path, where the commands will be searched, mail is where your mails will be stored. In the previous videos I have shown you how to use the mail. Then you have the internal field separator, that is how the characters are separated. One command is separated from its variable, its argument, that is IFS. Then you can also see the initialization for VI command, which is I have not shown you there, and PS1 is the first prompt and PS2 will be the second prompt, and the term is the terminal on which you are currently working on. All these are shell variables. There are many others are there, you know very well. I've just shown you. If you try to list them out, there will be tremendous number of them. Now let's look at how I can create my own variables. It's a very simple way of creating my variables. Give the name of the variable, then equal sign and the value. Very important thing, there is no space between the variable name, equal sign and values. So don't put the spaces. This is the most usual mistake the student does during the examination. By mistake you put spaces between the values, then the things will not work. Okay, so let's look at how I can create a variable. Very simple. I'm going to clear this clutter now so that you can see it. Suppose if I want to create a variable called college. Okay, I put college equal to GFGC Mangalore. So as simple as that, I press enter. So I created a variable. Okay, so very simple. You can say I want to create one marks equal to, so let's say y10 95. Okay, so I can create like that. So it's as simple as that. A general rule for a variable, as usual, you can say variable must begin with a letter or an underscore and followed by a letter, underscore, character or a number. No spaces are allowed in between the variable and values. Okay, if you have more than one word, just enclose them in double quotes, as simple as that. Okay, now in your C programming, you have printf function. Printf function is used to display the value onto the screen. The same thing that we have here is the echo command, equivalent to that. So echo followed by the variable, it's going to show you the content. So let's try that thing. So I'm going to go over here and I have created two variables over here. Now if I say echo college, okay, it's going to display it as a college. So you know very well, printf statement, whatever you type, it's going to show. So what if I want to show the value? So remember I just told you that I created a variable here. What if I want to show the value of the variable? To show the value of the variable, put a dollar followed by the name. Remember, this means the value of the variable. If you just put like this, it is just a text. It will just show that thing on the screen. Now it's going to show you the value which is stored in the variable. So how do I show the value of the marks? So how to show the value of the marks here? So dollar marks. What if I say dollar name? I have not declared anything called as a name. So you notice that there is no variable called as name. If I do this, it will show blank because the variable name is not declared. Unlike your C program, it won't say variable name not found or something like that. If it is not there, it will just give a blank saying that I didn't get that thing. Now what if you just say name, it will show as it is. What if you say like this, it's going to show that. Now I'm going to clear this clutter now again. Let's look at this one. I'm going to say money and space and like this. So if you press enter, you notice that even though I've given a lot of space here, when it outputs, it will truncate all the spaces in between, and it just shows you in a very beautiful way. But what if I want it to be shown in the same way? In that case, put a double quotes and put the spaces. So put the string, so put it as a string, and you notice that it's going to show like a string. Okay, so simple as that. Let's go back to the PowerPoint and let me quickly go to the other part. So I have already told you how to use the variable, and this is also done. Now the next one is most of the time whenever you put the echo command. Now let me try this one, echo, not this one, echo. Let's say money, and you know very well you can type more than, I just told you that you can type more than one command in a single line by using the semicolon. So if I type this, what you notice is money is, even though I typed it in one line, money will come in the first line and Bhushan will come in the second line. That means whenever a echo is done, it's going to produce a line break. You know what is the meaning of line break? So in your C programming, you know what is that character that you are writing, /n. It produces that /n automatically. So what if I don't want that /n to come? In that case, I can say money and -n. Don't put that /n character. So if I do that, what's going to happen? So if I do that, it's going to, I'm sorry, I wanted to put a space here. So okay, echo space this one. If you notice in my previous command that there is no space, that's why I just said I don't get what is this command all about. Okay, so press enter, you're going to get it in a single line. So -n will not put the line break. Now there is also one other command called as enhanced version of echo. You can say echo -e. There are a lot of things you can have, and in this you can have like this, money /t. You know what is /t? You know that /t dsc /n gfgc Bangalore. So you know how it's going to come. You know all this /t and /n. So if you do that thing, remember you have to put -e here. Without that it's not going to work. So /t is a tab separation, you know that, and /n, you know, a new line. So it's going to put a new line. So you can use them also in your code. Let me quickly do that. Apart from this, like, because you have already studied the C programming language, you know that you can also use all the other thing like backspace, new line, carriage return, and a single quote, double quote, and alert. You may not hear a beep, but you can try that thing. Okay, now whenever you create a sh command, you know, I have told you whenever you type a sh command, you actually create a subshell or a child shell. The values which are put in the, so what do I mean to say that? Let's go to the shell script itself. Let me clear it. Now if I type sh here, notice what's going to happen. It's going to create a subshell. So this was the main shell. This was the main shell. Okay, inside it, it created one other shell. Okay, so you are in the child. Now whatever variables that you have declared here, they are not automatically available like your programming language. So if you declare anything in the main program, it is available in the child, that is functions, but it is not the case here. So what you declare in the main is not directly available in the child. So now let me go here. Let me first click on that. Okay, now I'll exit from this thing. Okay, so let me go to the main, and I'm going to declare name equal to money. Okay, let me echo it, echo $name. So you know that you're going to get it. Now I'm going to create a child. Remember, what did I do? Now I was there in the main. I created a child. Remember, now money is there in the main. It is not directly available in the child. Let me try that thing. I'm inside the child. Can you notice that? It's just changing the prompt here. Now if I say, let's click here, and if I say echo $name, what am I going to get? I'm going to get a blank. What's the reason? This name, which was here, which was remember, this is a child. The name which is there in the parent is not directly available in the child. It's not available. So you have to export them, then only it is available. Now how do I come? The next very $1,000,000 question is, okay, how do I come from this to the main? How do I come out of this prompt? Okay, so to do that, let me click here. You type exit. Exit is to exit out of the shell. So if you want to exit out of the shells, you just press exit. So what is this one? I was inside the child shell, and what is this one? This was the my parent. From the parent I went to the child, and then again came back to the parent. So type exit to come. Now what if I want this name to be available in the child? In that case you just say export name. Okay, that's it. Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to invoke the child now. sh is to invoke the child. Now if I say echo $name, you will notice that it is showing money. From where did it get this money? Last time it said I don't know anything, but this time what did I do? I had this variable. What is this variable? So I took this variable, I have exported it. That's why it's coming to the child. Now can I change the values? So you know, if you change the values in your C programming, if you change the value, you can globally make the changes. Can I do that? So name equal to GFGC. If I write like this, okay, let me echo this to just to show you that the name indeed has changed. Okay, can you see it? Now I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to exit. So I have exited out of my child now. So from the child process, so from the child shell, I am back to the, so I was here, I went to the child, and now I am coming back to the main shell now. Now here I am going to now say echo. If I say $name, what I'm going to get? Is it the money, or is it this value, which is money, or is it this value which is changed in the child? So which one would you expect? You notice that it is the old value. It is the value which was there in the main. So even though I have changed the values in the child, it is the value of the main, this value, that it is trying to show. So this is how it goes. You can export the values, but you can't take it back from the child. You can take it to the parent. Okay, I will not show you this, explain this example. You can leisurely go through it. I have already explained that thing. Now to use the different codes. So let's look at the different things that you can use it. What is the different interpretation? Let me clear the clutter now and just echo that. Echo $name. Okay, so if I say echo, okay, my name is $, not this one, name. So what do you expect to come? Definitely the value of name is money and it's going to come there. Now suppose if I say echo single quote my name is dollar name, same thing but in the single quote. What you notice now? So when you are in the single quote, it simply said I will not interpret this one. See, when it was a double quote, it interpreted that and it said that's a value. But when it was single quote, it just said that I am not going to do anything with that. Okay. Can I achieve the same thing? Now the next question comes. Can I achieve the same thing? So in the single quote, it will not interpret the variables. Now in the double quote, it will interpret the variable. What if I want to get the same result? I don't want money to come, but I want the dollar is name to come even in the double quotes. Even when I'm using the double quotes, I want to get the same result. How can I achieve this? You are already familiar from your C programming language. So what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to use a yes escape. Hope you have done that thing. You can escape, always you can escape it. If you try to escape, what's going to happen? So if you try to escape, you know very well you can escape the interpretation. So let me show you this command you have already seen. Let me clutter first, remove this clutter and let me type this date command. You notice this date command. You are all familiar. So date will show you the current date. I have already talked about it. So if I say echo date, so what do you expect? Date to show. So when you type it, the echo just thinks that that is the variable. So what to do? Echo thinks that it's a variable, but now I have to tell the echo that this is a command. You need to interpret that command. How can I tell that thing to the echo? So I am going to use echo, click here, echo, and now I am going to show you what I am typing. So I am not typing the single quote that you are already seeing here. Can you see that single quote? It is not the one that I am going to type. I am going to type the back quote, which is very close to the escape, either at the below, depending upon the keyboard that you have. Sometime it is below or sometime very next to it. So this is the back quote, not the single quote or a double quote. The single quote, double quotes, you will find it here. But this is the back quote I'm using. So back quote that I'm going to use it. So let me click here and then back quote. Then I am going to type DATE. I think let me not click on that. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I will minimize this, not required. So hope you know which one I have typed. This is not the single quote. It's a back quote. I press enter and this is what you see. So what that thing did, it interpreted that command. Okay, what if I try to do the same thing? So let me go click here and let me do this. My name was there. So let me show this. You know very well my name is money. It's going to show you my name is money. Now what if I put not the, remember it is not the single quote, it is the back quote which is close to the escape key. This is back quote, it is not single quote. It's very close to the escape key. Just look at the escape key and very close to it you will find that back quote. So I'm going to type this back quote. What is going to happen? I press enter. You will notice a very strange thing. And what you notice here is the Linux is going to say that I don't know any command called as my. There is no such command as my. So it didn't came here itself, but it just said that the first command you typed is I don't know. Second command, forget it. Third command, forget it. The first command itself I don't know. So what is the meaning of it? It tries to interpret it as a command. So if I type back quote, okay, if I type pwd, present working directory, and if I say who, okay, if I say ls, what is going to happen? Is it going to blow up the entire Linux now? So if I press enter, you notice that it took the first one only. What is pwd present working directory? Next one it just said I can't do that thing. So let me, to be very sure, let me show that the pwd, the output of pwd is this. Okay, rest are not being shown. Hope you get the oops, let me clear the everything. Hope you get what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead with the, I'm going to escape it. I will not explain the PPT also, because it is already been demonstrated to you. So I can use the double quote, I can use the backslash to do that thing. Now the next thing that you can think of doing is when you wrote the command, like look at the command that you are writing. So when you say you use the command called as cat my file, something like that, my file.txt, you wrote like this, okay, or you might have written copy source file name and destination file name. So what are, this is the command, remember this is the command, and what are these are the arguments that are passed to the command from the command line. So these are the arguments that are passed to the same command. So these are called as a command line arguments. Why? Because these are the argument, it depends on your program, these are the arguments that are passed to the command line. Okay, so when you type the command and followed by its argument, they are called as command line arguments. Okay, so command line, I missed the line there. Okay, command line argument, so these are called as command line argument, which you can use it even in your shell. So in other words, let me create now. I'm going to just click here. Let me first create a file here. So I'm going to go to my BSC, which is here, and there is a folder called as a demo. Let me go to this same location. So first I'm going to cd to my desktop and BSC, then I think I will go to the demo. Okay, I'm in the same place, desktop BSC demo. And if you open this demo, there is nothing in that demo. Let me create a shell file. So I'm going to say touch. Touch is not to be used for this, but let me create it. So it's the easiest way to create a blank file. So touch ex1. I created a file over here. Can you see there? I created I told you a shell script must have an extension sh, and this is the file name ex1. Let me open it in the editor, and let me zoom it for you. So I'm going to echo this one, echo hello, how are you. Okay, only that. Let me save it. Let me run it. How do you run it? sh followed by the file name. What's the file name? ex1. Look at that file name, ex1. I press enter, I get the output. Okay, so this is as simple as that. If you write the next line over here, echo, okay, if you write like this, what's going to happen? How do you run it? sh followed by the file name, and you get that thing. Now it is not, I am not interested in that. I want to supply some arguments like 10, 20, 30, 40 something. I want to supply some argument, like how I did with the cp command. How did in the cp command I said I am giving the source file name and destination file name. This is what I did. So I am supplying the source file name and the destination file name. In the same way, I want to supply some command line arguments to my shell script. So this is how I do it. So I press enter. Okay, I press enter, nothing is going to happen, because even though I have supplied the command line argument, I am not reading them in my program. So how do I read that? In your C program, I don't know whether you did that thing in the C program. So in the main, you have this arg C and arg V. Hope you know that thing. Okay, two things were there. So this will give you the count and this will give you the actual variable that are given at the command line. So you can use them. How do I, using the argv, you can get all the command line arguments. How do I get the same thing in my shell? So that's the interesting one. Now the good thing about it is you can get the values by using the dollar. So $1, if I say I am going to get the first value that was supplied to me. So which is the first value? First value I have supplied is going to come to the $1. So let me try that thing. So I'm going to go here and let me save it first, and I'm going to try the same thing. So you notice the 10. Why it has shown only 10? Because I am echoing only $1. I am not echoing the other. So first one is supplied to the $1. That is why you are able to see it here. What if I show the second one? So I'm going to just copy this and paste it. I'll get it in the next line. So $2, $3. So if I do that thing, $3. So I'm going to just save it, and if I run this, you notice that 3 values I have taken it up, and you get this one. So $1, $2, $3, $4, and let's say $4 and 5. Let me guess. Okay, so $4. Let me, not too many things are not really required. Okay. So if I supply it, let me clear it now first and then try it for you. So you get all the values. So the values that you are supplying at the command line, okay, they are stored in the $1. The second one is stored in the $2. Third one is stored in the $3, and the fourth one, and so on so forth. You can keep on putting the numbers here, 1 2 3 4. I will not try all of them because that itself will take 100 days for me to show you that you can supply all the argument. Now coming to some of the interesting things over here. Now you know very well $1 is the first argument, $2 will be the second argument, $3 is the third argument. Now the next question will come, what is $0 then? So do you have $0? That's really interesting, is it not? So do I have $0? So let's try it and let's see, is it there? So you notice that this time look at the difference. This was the last time without $0. It was just showing you 10, 20, 30, 40, which are the values that are supplied over here. But now it is also showing 10, 20, 30, 40. But apart from that, it is also showing you the name of the file that is being used. So what is $0 then? So $0 then is the name of the file. So as simple as that. So name of the file is this. Hope you get the idea there. So name of the file is $0. First argument $1, second argument $2, and so on so forth. What if I want to get how many variables are there, or how many arguments are passed? For that dollar, and I'm going to use the number sign. So dollar number sign is going to give me, let's see what it's going to give me. So it's going to give me 4, the answer 4. What is this answer 4? How many values are there? How many parameters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is what it is trying to give it to me. So they are all 4 parameters are there. 4 parameters it's going to give me. What if, let me clear it, let me go here and let me clear it for you. And what if I supply one more value, 50? Total argument is 5, but out of that 5 argument you have used 4. That's your problem. So can I give the 6th argument? Total argument is 6, and out of which you have used 4. That's up to you. So arguments given were in the command line, 6 arguments were given. This is the first argument, second argument, third argument. Can I give, the next question also it will come, can I give like this? Let me go here. Can I give Mani, Suresh, Radha? Okay, 3 names only I am going to give. Press enter. So what you notice, money is given first argument. What about Suresh? Second argument, rather third argument. Fourth argument was not given, so it is blank. Total argument is 3. So you can supply that. Okay, so there is nothing. It is not that you have to always supply the name. Now there is one other interesting one, so you know that one. Now if at all you want to get all the argument in one shot, if at all you want to get it, so you can say dollar and star. So dollar and star, if you do that thing, and let me try that thing, you will notice all the variables that are passed directly in one shot. You get all of them. Star means everything, all the arguments that are passed. So if I go back to this one, all the arguments that are passed in one shot, you get all of them. So dollar star means all the values which are passed in the command line. Also you have something called as a dollar dollar. I think that dollar dollar should be there. So dollar dollar is if you try this one, you're going to get a number. What is this number? If you want to know, it is the program ID. So you get this not the program, the process ID. Every process has an ID, and that ID is given by the Linux kernel, and that ID, if you want to get the program process ID, you can always display that also. Now sometime what happens is we may want to go from one variable to the second variable to the third variable, and like that we may want to shift from one value to the other values, okay, and leave out the first value. So in the bubble sort, how did you do that? You for I equal to n, and then say for I equal to n minus 1, then you shifted the value. So you can also shift the value. So let's look at that one. So I'm going to say echo $1, okay, $2 and $3. Okay, let's say 3 values are there. Let me show the output for you. So $1, $2, $3. Now I'm going to say, okay, shell minus v. Minus v means verbose. Verbose means you are asking the shell, whichever command you are executing, first show me the command, then execute it. So if I try that thing, so what the shell will do is, it will show that I executed the echo 1 and this is the output. I executed the echo 2, then this is the output. I executed the echo 3 and executed. So let me shift the value. Now you have already talked about left shift, right shift, and so on and so forth. Let's use a word called as a shift, and then let me try to do this. So let's see what is the output. I'm going to just clear this so that it's going to come here. So what happened? So what is the result over here? So first let's look at each and every one of them. So initially $1 was 10, that is what it is showing. $2 was 20, $3 is 30. Then you shifted it. Now after shifting, what happened is $1 now became, we change the color, so $1 now became 20, okay, $2 now became 30, $3 now became, where is the mouse pointer, okay, 40. So what is that you are doing? You are shifting to the other side, okay. If I shift one more time, what's going to happen? Let me try that thing. So I'm going to shift one more time, and let's try it. Okay, let me clear it for you and then try it. Okay, so now try. Now this is going to be terrible. Okay, so let's start with the first one. $1 was 10, $2 was 20, $3 was 30. Then you shifted. So you shifted. Then $1 became 20, $2 became 30, $3 became 40. Then again you shifted. Now the $1 has become 30. $2, if you see it, $2 will become 30 and 40, and $3 you know very well. So you are shifting. So you know what is the meaning of saying shifting, and that's what you are doing. So You can also use the shift there. I will not explain the PPT here because I have already tried to use it. There are two things that I would like to show. One is the dollar, let me show that thing. Okay, dollar question mark will return the status, exit status of the last command. Remember, when you run, like your C program, when you run the program, if the program runs successfully, the exit status is 0. If it ends up in trouble, it will return an error code back to the calling module. So that's one you can use. Then you can also use the exit status of the last background command that was executed using the dollar and exclamation mark. So shift, I have already talked about it, so I will not waste my time on that shift. You can also use the set now. I have already shown you the set. Set is used to show the variables, that is the built-in variables. Also you can set the values, use the set to set the values to the positional parameters. So let's try that thing. So let me quickly try that thing to you. So let me clear it. Okay. So let me echo here only. Let me echo what is $1 blank, is it not? Echo $2 blank, is it not? I have not, remember, I have come out of the shell now. Shell, this, remember, when I run a shell, as I already told you, when you run a shell, don't get confused. When you run a shell, you are there in the primary shell. When you write sh, you go to the a child shell, then after that you come back. I executed this whole command inside this child. I came back. Now that whole variables are not there. So don't tell me that last time you just showed me 10, 20, 30. Where are those? They were there with the child shell. That child shell is, I've exited. I came out. So it is all gone. Now you notice that $1 and $2 is not set. So if I say set money version, so what it is going to do? If you look at the $1 now, you notice that $1 is automatically set. $1 is set to a value money. Okay, that's why it is showing you that. Definitely, what will be the $2 now? Let me go here. What will be the value $2? Where is this? $2. $2 will be version. Okay, so hope you get that thing. When you set it, it's going to set the values to the, yeah, I can keep on doing one more thing. It will set to the $3. One more thing, $4. It will keep on setting. So you can also set it using the set command. Okay, either you can supply the command line or you can directly set it. The next one is in your C program you have something called as a read command. So when do you use the read command? You know very well, to read the when do you use the scanf command to get the input. In the same way, if you want to read a line of text, you can use the read command. Okay, very simple, read followed by the variable. So let's try that thing instead of me explaining about the command. Let's directly try it. So I'm going to say echo enter, let me do it in a very beautiful way, enter your name. Then I'm going to say read name echo, then I'm going to say hello, yes, okay, name, welcome to shell scripting. Okay, this didn't go in the next line, please. Okay, it is coming in the same line. I have zoomed in for you so that it's going to come like this. Let me save it and let me say shex1.sh. Okay, I get she did it. Okay, I didn't type to she, why she is there. Okay, so I got this one. So what is the first thing that I typed? Let me show it here. What's the first thing that I typed? So the first thing that I typed here is enter your name, the echo command, and it is doing that, and it is waiting. If you notice here, it is waiting for the read statement. So whenever you write the scan statement, it is a waiting. I am going to say my name. Okay, so what's the output I'm going to get? So I'm going to get hello, and what is that I'm going to get? This hello is from here, and what is money bhushan is from the variable, and welcome to the shell scripting, as simple as that. So this is how you read the command. So can you read numerical in values? So echo okay, let's say enter your marks, echo dollar, not echo, let me read it, read marks. Remember, very important thing over here. See, when I read it, you notice when I read, I don't put the dollar sign. Very careful. When I print only, I put the values. So careful. In your scanf, you sometimes put the dollar, the ampersand. You put it in. The significance of putting ampersand in the scanf statement. So it is something like that only. So you have scored dollar marks. Okay, so that's simple as that. Let me clear everything for you, and let me run the command. Enter your name. I'm going to say my name. Enter your mark 45, and you get it. Okay, you have scored from here, you have scored, and marks is 45. So as simple as that, you can always read from the keyboard. Okay, so you got it. The last one I've already shown you. If at all you want to, if you are fed up with this, and if you want to exit out of a shell, type exit command to exit out of shell. I've already shown you this one. Maybe I've not highlighted. So if I type sh, I'm in the shell. Okay, so I can type any command in the child shell. Now if I type exit, I come out of the main shell. So exit is that interesting command that you can use. You don't need to type exit in the shell script. It's going to exit out when the shell script ends. So you may ask, sir, you didn't type the exit here. It's okay. Once this file comes to the end, automatically the shell will automatically exit. I don't have to tell it to exit, so there's no need for me to do that. Okay, that's all for today. If you like this one, and if you want to know more about many other commands, please refer the Linux A Practical Approach by Mohammed Ibrahim. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the next class.